There's a new kid on the block for home theater speakers, and their name is Perlisten. I've had the opportunity to talk with them on my live stream, but now I have the chance to actually listen to their gear in person, all close and personal. Today, we have a pair of Perlisten D15s subwoofers in the theater, and we're going to take them for a spin. In this video, we're going to look at the specs of the subs, cool features such as the feature-rich app, and then we're going to measure them with REW to see exactly what they can do. And man, I've got my fingers crossed because I think they're going to be outstanding. Stick around because you don't want to miss that. Also, home theater fanatics will be working with Perlisten to give one lucky person, one now, just one, their very own Perlisten D15s subwoofers. Now, details on the holiday Festus stream, maybe we need a better name, contest will be at the end of this video. Now, before we get to the specs, I want to call out a feature that really sets this Perlisten subwoofer apart from the pack. Now, this sub is the smallest single sub in existence to carry the THX Dominus certification. It's the only one, the smallest one. Now, what is the Dominus certification? Well, Dominus is the highest, I guess, rating available from THX. It means that this particular subwoofer is designed to work in rooms up to 6,500 cubic feet. That's a really big room. That's a really big theater. This certification is driven by requirements such as, low distortion at 120 decibels of SPL, requirements of 92 decibels of sensitivity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can go to their website and check out all that kind of stuff. But basically, this means that the sub can play loud and clear and fill a big space. I think you'll see that in the measurements that come up soon as well. Now, let's chat about the specs. While I talk through the highlights, I'll throw up the rest as a graphic on the screen so you can check those out. Now, this sub supports a 15-inch or 380mm carbon fiber cone. It's a sealed design, and the built-in amplifier provides burst power of 2,000 watts. That's not RMS, that's burst. Depending on the EQ settings you can choose, it digs down to 16 hertz at -6 decibels. Now, you need to see the measurements so you can really understand what it'll do in a room, because this is a little bit better than what it calls out. And the cost is about $5,000. Physically, the subwoofer is a 20 by 20 by 20 cube. It's really small, and I appreciate this size because it really fits under my screen well, and my screen kind of sits low, so it's kind of tough to get stuff in there. It weighs 101 pounds, so if you base quality on weight, you got a winner in this subwoofer because, man, it's heavy. It's available in gloss black, but it's also been available in matte black in the past. On the top of the sub, you've got a cool little LCD display that you can use to set things like the DSP mode and input triggers, but I really like it because it tells you when it's turned on. So, if you use the remote trigger and you're not sure if this sub's playing, you got more, it'll show you that. On the back of the sub, you've got a USB service port, your trigger turn-on port, RCA in and out, XLR in and out. I really love that. A power in, and then the power switch. All of the settings are really managed with the app, so you have to have some type of phone or tablet to get the most out of the subwoofer. The app gives you full control over the sub. When I opened up the app on my phone, it easily discovered these two subs, and I've got one in the gloss and one in the matte, using Bluetooth, and it presents access to each on that front screen. Now, you can also control the master volume for both subs simultaneously on that front screen, so it's kind of cool if you need to do a quick volume adjustment on the fly. Once you dig deeper into the app, you get access to stuff like the EQ modes, crossover settings, time delay, polarity, 10 bands of PEQ, yeah, a lot, and I think there are 3 different presets for that, and then the input control. DSP is quite powerful, and it's got everything that you need to tune these subwoofers if you don't have some type of external DSP to help with that. Now, on to the listening impressions. So I auditioned these two subs simultaneously in my 9.1.4 channel basement theater, so these were the only two subs playing. The source was a Kaleidoscape, and that passed through an Accurus Act 4. All of the other channels were Stark Sound speakers powered with Stark Sound amplification. You can see videos about all that stuff if you go back into my history. I used my standard set of test scenes, so the race scene from Ready Player One, the black hole from Interstellar, the opening of Edge of Tomorrow, and then a collection of snips from Marvel movies and the John Wick films, 1, 2, and 3. For music, I kept things in multi-channel And I rewatched Hans Zimmer live in Prague, which is amazing. If you don't know this thing, you have to check it out. It's really good. The two subwoofers handled everything I threw at them with no noticeable stress at all. They sounded great. Edge of Tomorrow bass, you know, at the beginning, the boom, 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 boom thing, it was clean, and it felt like teeth were going to start coming out. I mean, it was pretty hardcore. You know, bass extension is as low as I've ever heard it on anything. It goes all the way down, and there was a lot of bass coming out of these two subs. Now, gunshots in John Wick 3 were really physical. Organ tones in Live in Prague were clear, they were powerful, they were deep, they sounded like they were supposed to. And again, Edge of Tomorrow, it was shockingly good because that is a subwoofer killer. Now, after listening was done, I broke out the microphone and I took some measurements with REW to validate that what I was hearing is actually what was happening. So let's go ahead and check those out now. All right, REW time. So a little bit about the setup. So the subwoofer's in the center of the front wall right under the screen. It's about 9 feet from the main listening position. And I'm using a UMIC 1 to do the measurements with REW on my laptop. I'm doing sweeps from 10 hertz up to 90 hertz. And this was the first sweep that I did. This area here at, what is it? 38.75 hertz. And then this one again at 63 and this one again at 77. Those are all room induced items. So that's room pain and nothing to do with the subwoofer in particular. So I would assume that, you know, it would be pretty linear across that whole range without the room in the way. Now, first thing to notice is that this sucker is pretty flat all the way down to 10 hertz. So this is using the THX EQ setting, which I think is the default setting. So, you know, plus or minus 5 decibels all the way across. I mean, really, it's pretty awesome. So, you know, I did a few more sweeps to look and see what it's got going on. So a little bit more, 3 decibels, a little bit more, 3 decibels, 3, 3, 3, 3, keeps on going. Holy cow, 3, 3, 3 more. So now we're at 100 decibels at 9 feet from the speaker in my room at 10 hertz. That is a lot of bass. 3 more decibels. So what is this now? At 10 hertz, 101.15 decibels. Yeah, a lot of bass. More. Now, you know, I really wanted to test up to where I see compression, and it looks like there might be a little bit happening right here. I'm not really sure, but at this, and this is loud enough, right? I don't need to really test beyond this for a 15-inch sub. This thing's putting out a ton of volume. It's super loud. But I wanted to see what would happen if I played with the EQ a little bit. So I set this to the very small and ran it with the same sweep. So let me clear off all the rest of these. And you can see the difference when this is run with the very small EQ as opposed to very small room, as opposed to the standard THX EQ. All right, so that changes things a lot. So, you know, about 55 hertz, the EQ kicks in, and it's a little bit lower across the range, but then they really pump it up down there at the bottom. And, you know, just a little bit of comparison. So I back the volume back off to 65, and this is the THX EQ. And then this is with the very large room EQ setting, right? So it's a little bit more bass, you know, from 10 hertz up to 30. You kind of an interesting curve. And then again with a very small EQ, so it pulls up that super low end, but it pushes down around the 20 hertz a little bit. So you know, those are different canned EQ settings that you can play with that come with the sub. Obviously, they're the 10 bands of PEQ that you can play with and really tweak this thing out to your heart's content. Now, just as a comparison, I moved the subwoofer over to the side. So this would be right beside the right main speaker. So you can see a difference in what the room is doing. And you can see that, you know, this is completely gone here with the room. You know, this one is still in existence. And then this one gets even worse with the positioning moved over. So everything is going to be dependent on your room. Everybody knows that. But this is a good example of, what happens when you slide this thing over and why you want multiple of these. So just imagine if I had 3 of these across the front of the room, it could make a really, really smooth response across the entire seating area, I would imagine. So anyway, there you go. Tons of bass. This thing's really flat. You can make it as flat as you want to. Tons of output. Love it. Solid all the way down to 10. Can't argue with that at all. It's time for opinion. The D15s, the 2 of them that I was testing, did everything a steel subwoofer is supposed to do. It plays super deep, plays super clean, and sounds like a sub is supposed to sound. I know that's kind of amorphous, but there's a way that I like subs to sound, and this has that sound. No audible distress at all through all of the different tests, so I can't knock its performance in any way. If this subwoofer is in your price range, absolutely give it strong consideration because it looks great, sounds even better. This sub brings a level of refinement and aesthetic quality that you might not find in lower cost units. You can absolutely get louder for less money, but I don't know that you can get better for less money. Now, the big question. This is the one I always ask. Would I use this in my own system? 100%, absolutely. 2 of these would be stunning under my screen in the front. I mean, that's all I'd ever want. Now, if I was going to live in Fantasyland a bit, I would have those 2 in the front and then 2 of the D15s in the back, and that's the double 15. So that would make for 6 15s. Yeah, JL, I think you got some competition. You gotta figure this out. Okay, now, the bad news I have is I've got to let these go. But the good news I have is that I get to work with Perlisten to give you one of them. Well, maybe not you specifically, but someone that signs up for the December holiday Festa stream. There'll be a link down below. It's December 14th, and this is my normal Tuesday stream. So if you don't watch Home Theater Fanatics Live every Tuesday, this might be the chance for you to jump in and get a little something out of it. This giveaway is going to be absolutely huge. There are 20-something prizes, 20 different brands are going to be, well, 20-something plus brands will be participating, and all you have to do is go down and follow all the instructions. I've got a gleam.io sign up, and I'm sure you've seen that for other contests, so check that out. Get signed up, make sure that you jump through all the hoops, and then be on the stream December 14th so that you can have a shot at winning this prize. Now, we're only going to ship to the United States, so if you live outside of the USA and you win, find a friend in the USA that this thing can be shipped to, because we're not sending it to Spain or Mexico or Asia or USA, lower 48, sorry, Hawaii, sorry, Alaska, but you just need a friend that we can ship it to here, and then you guys can figure it out after that. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell, do all the normal stuff, comments down below and everything. And again, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.